Hello everybody, Andrew Hutchings here, day of the night of the competition, looking very brown. I guess I can show my body, although I have been eating quite a bit. And remember, it's all about angles and lighting, so you can't necessarily see how good I look. So, I'm someone who is grounded in reality. And I did know that I wasn't quite as lean as I should be, or as is normal for bodybuilders that are on stage. Like, yeah, I'm lean. By all normal standards, I'm pretty lean. Also, like, I personally don't think I'm looking very good on the camera right now. You can check out my Instagram, check out a photo I posted from yesterday where I look amazing without the tan, just in the mirror. But when I was at the competition, I was looking at the guys, like, looking for somebody who I'd have to worry about, like, are there any guys here who look like they're almost as developed as me, who might beat me? And I was thinking, on one hand, if all the guys are way worse than me, it'll be nice because it's an easy victory and I'll get that medal and I'll win. But I wouldn't be so proud to post like a video of it or photos of it, because then people would be like, oh, you only won because the other people look so bad. And then on the other hand, I was thinking, but if they are better, then maybe I wouldn't win. But the thing is, I didn't see anybody who I thought would beat me. Like, I was really thinking, like, well, unless there's some guy hiding, and then we all lined up, and I'm like, they must have like low moods right now because they have like no hope of beating me, because my muscular development was definitely the best. And being a bodybuilding competition, my mindset was I have the best muscular development, well, noticeably better than these guys, so for sure I'm gonna win. So I thought, like, I'm first place, definitely. I'm like, this guy is pretty well developed, but like, I'm still significantly better developed and more well-rounded. Like, his legs were bigger than mine, but his upper body just looked like garbage. And I know my legs can look like garbage sometimes on video, but trust me, if you see me in person or if I take it at the right angle, my legs actually look pretty good. But ironically, in this bodybuilding competition, I forgot that I need to spread my legs, because if you just stand straight up and down, it's a very unaesthetic look. You need to create the V shape where your legs are spread out and your upper body is spread out. If you're just like this, you don't look very good. If you're like this, you don't look that great. If you're like this, you look a lot better. And I forgot about that. Okay, so as I said, I was thinking like definitely first place, like maybe second place. So after we were all out there, you finish competing against each other, and we lined up, and they called my last name, and I stood up, and I got the paper from them, and I'm reading it, and I'm thinking, like, why didn't I get a trophy? Like, what's... And then they call fourth place, and I'm thinking, do they start with first place and then go to fourth place? And then they call third place, and then they called second place, and then they called first place. And I'll put somehow on their photos. Well, actually, perhaps you can see it in one of the videos. But if you see who won and you see what I look like next to them, yes, they're leaner than me. Does that mean they should have won? In my opinion, no, because first and foremost, it's bodybuilding, not body starving. Like, yes, of course you should be lean and ripped for a bodybuilding competition. But in my opinion, if somebody is more well-developed than somebody else, they win in terms of bodybuilding. But that's not how it is. I think it's just, especially nowadays, the thing is to be super ultra shredded, and like, even I think it looks good. Like, I'm looking at, now of course how it looks in person and how it looks on video are two different things. So I'm looking at the video my wife took, and I'm thinking, yeah, I remember in person, like when I'm standing next to these guys, there was like no comparison between me and them. But when you're on stage, being the extra lean really makes you look a lot better, because you can see all the details, and especially if you're far away. And also, like, I think I got better lighting on my legs at home than on stage. Just something about the tan plus exactly how the lights were. Also, they switched me, like, I started on one side of the stage and then I went to the other side, and I noticed even in the pictures, like, definitely there was better lighting on one side of the stage than the other side of the stage. But yeah, definitely important to be very lean, because someone could be more well-developed, but somebody else is leaner, so they're going to win. And it does look good to be lean, but I do personally think overall that if you combine the leanness and the muscle mass, that I should have been number one. But you add in that I posed really bad. I guess bodybuilding competitions aren't just about your body development. So if it was just in terms of body development, I was certainly number one for my weight class. But then you add in, like, the little leanness difference that there was, plus my posing was probably the worst. Yeah. And I did really stupid mistakes sometimes. Like, I would do front double biceps and forget to really flex my lats. Or I would be doing something and forget to, like, really, by the way, right now I'm not really flexing. I would forget to flex my legs. Like, and I didn't show my back very much, and my back is my strong suit. I can't see it right now, but I have an amazing back. And somehow on camera, like, I'm not sure if it looks much better like this, but I was like this, and when I'm looking on camera compared to the other guys, my back looks very narrow. But I know that my back is really wide, and nobody's back looked wider than mine, like in person. So I think I'm just, like, holding it too close together, and I need to go like this. And then, like, so, like, I was like this. I think I need to go like something like that. So I guess I gotta practice posing, lose some more weight next time. I did only diet for 8 weeks, because I only found out about it like 8.5 weeks before the day of the competition. Next time I will diet for like 16 weeks. Overall, good experience, but I do wish I had a medal to hang around my neck, because I wanted to wear the medal to school the next day. Face is looking nice. I just would like to have a medal that I could wear around, because I would wear it a lot, actually. And I wanted to be able to put on Instagram that I won, or at least just have a medal and be like, I got second place or third. But I got last place. And you may be going, oh, see, you're not in that good a shape. If you actually compare me to who I was up against, yeah, I'm actually in really good shape, believe it or not. It's objective. Just bodybuilding is not based purely on who has the best muscular development. It's also subjective based on who the judges like the most. like I was watching the girls because I mean my wife just happened to be standing on the side of the stage when actually there were guys too, but I remember that one time when the girls were up there, like I saw there was a girl that looked like she was in way better shape than another girl, and I personally did not like the shape this other girl was in, but she ended up winning, and I was like really, I couldn't have imagined it. Like if someone asked me to bet money, I never would have betted it on this girl. Like to me, the other one development looked way better, but that's how it is. There were some guys that actually were better developed than me, but they were in the 90 kilo weight class. I was in the 80 kilo weight class. Now, I was like 78 kilos today, and if I was like dehydrated plus no carbs plus dieted down some more, I probably could have made it to the 75 kilo weight class. And those guys were really small. Like, I mean, who knows? Maybe they would still fail me because I have a little bit higher body fat. But really, they were so tiny. I would be the Hulk next to them. And in my 80 kilogram category, there was a guy that was pretty similar size to me. I still think my development is better than his, but you also have to keep in mind that I work out based on what I think looks good. Like, I develop my proportions based on what I like. On camera, I don't always look how I actually look in the mirror, but I love my proportions. That's why I have them, because I like them, and that's what I work out for, is to look how I look. I don't want, like, the extra disproportionate large shoulders. I like my proportions. You can't necessarily see them accurately on camera, like I said, but I love how I look. And when you're dehydrated and like flexing your muscles, they do get tired and tight. Like, it's a different kind of tight. Hard to explain. Well, I gotta try to wash some of this off and get in bed with my wife. I think it looks cool to have this on. Like, I enjoyed walking around with it, even though I look like a freak. What's funny is when I was in London a couple of years ago, so many girls actually just have tans like this, and like it's the normal thing for them. Well, I'm officially a bodybuilder now. Like, I mean, I've always been a bodybuilder, but some people out there would not officially consider you to be a bodybuilder unless you've competed. Now I've competed. I'm a member of the Belarusian Federation of Bodybuilding. Also, if you think I'm small, maybe I just have, well, I know I have body dysmorphia, but whenever I'm looking at myself on camera, I usually am thinking I look small. If you think I'm small, consider that I first signed up for classic bodybuilding, and I would have needed to be under 72 kilograms, and I was like 78 something today. That's a big difference. Like, maybe if I was really dehydrated and no carbs and dieted down more, I could make 75 barely. But yeah, I can't make 72 kilograms. And what's amazing is some of the guys that did the classic bodybuilding looked amazing and big. But I know that they're like considerably like smaller than me. So yeah, being lean makes you look great. Instagram is natural_true_fitness. And I still have some final exams. Well, a final exam, a biochemistry final exam tomorrow, which the professor's letting me do the next day. It's funny, it's like other students and people are like, oh, you get to do it the next day. It's like, well, I did spend like all day today at a bodybuilding competition, hours yesterday, and a lot of other time, and was dieting down with no energy, falling asleep during class, and spending hours exercising each day. So yeah, it's nice that the professor gives me one extra day. I don't need it in terms of doing okay on the test, but I do want to sleep in tomorrow. I don't want to wake up early and go take that fine. Oh, plus I got a stupid, have to rewrite a lecture that I missed. And I certainly don't want to stay up tonight, rewrite that, wake up early tomorrow, turn it in. So I will sleep in tomorrow, rewrite an entire lecture, and then take my final exam, which I have not studied for because I'm intelligent and I pretty much know all the stuff. I'll do fine. It's really funny how, like, I spent my whole weekend doing bodybuilding stuff, and I've spent so much time constantly doing bodybuilding stuff, like, whether it's in the gym, whether it's, well, it could be in the gym lifting weights, in the gym doing cardio, whether it's just walking around, whatever I'm doing. Like, I spent a lot of time on fitness and bodybuilding. Meanwhile, other students are always like, oh, we have no time, you need to have pity on us, like, you had no time. I was working out for 3 hours yesterday, and somehow I had time. I don't mean literally yesterday, I mean if you pick some random day, that's typically how it was. I do like how lean my face is. Like, I think it looks good and healthy, and I'm gonna try to maintain this body fat. Something I did a really good job at is dieting down without losing muscle. Like, yeah, I got really weak towards the end, but when I ate carbs and waited a while, I managed to regain my strength. So probably it was just really low calories plus the low carbs. And yeah, really can't see much detail of my muscles right now. But earlier today, and especially yesterday, the detail was insane. I couldn't sleep last night, so when I was awake in the middle of the night, I took some photos without clothes on because I just was curious how I looked. And man, I look so good, like amazing. Like that's what I care about. Like, that's what makes me proud of myself. Is like seeing that I look the best I've ever looked in my life. And no one can tell me that I'm not in good, I mean, you can tell me that I'm not in good shape. You can be like, oh, you're not in good shape, you're a loser bodybuilder. I look amazing. You can't convince me otherwise. You can convince me that I didn't pose well. I know I didn't. You can convince me that I could lose some more fat. I know I could. But can you convince me that I don't look good? No, you can't. I would not trade my body for any other person's body that I saw today. And I'm not the kind of person that just says those kind of things like, I'm positive, I don't want to. No, like, if I actually liked someone else's body more, I'd be like, yeah, I'd rather have that guy's body. But I didn't. I love my body, and like, definitely would not trade how I look for how somebody else looked. And what I also liked is when I was on stage, now my posing wasn't always good, so I didn't always look good and powerful, but especially when I would stand and do the front double bicep type poses, I just looked so strong, whereas the other guys looked stringy.